Okay, I think we're live. There we go.
Awesome. Hello, Sam.
Hello. Hello, Rachel. We'll pretend
How
like
are
we
you?
weren't prepping for this live for the last 15 minutes and chatting.
Isn't that what we do every time? We're like, hello, how
Alright.
was your week?
Let's repeat our conversation from
You
10
don't
minutes ago.
say.
Okay, let me go ahead and pull up the live.
Yeah, I gotta do this thing.
Let's see. I'm gonna go to the Facebook page, or you can go to the group. That's another way to do it. Speaking to everyone. I like that people beat me to the live, which is my favorite thing.
I'm sorry, I accidentally hit play on the
I did the
live,
same
so
thing.
I couldn't hear you.
Okay, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and share
Hi,
this.
Sarah. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Deanna. Hi, Patsy. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Lori. Hey, Julie. Did I miss anyone? I don't think so. I hope I didn't.
Rachel, you're on it.
I'm what?
You're on it.
My nose itches. Is your mom with us, Kathy? In the center. Hi, Angela. Hi, Sherry.
Alrighty.
Oh, my computer fan is extra loud again. One day it's gonna die while we're on the live. Can you hear the fan? Do you want me to switch to my AirPods?
You could try your AirPods. Maybe that's slightly better. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone's having a nice Saturday so far. We've got some randomly very blue skies in the Bay Area today, so I'm not complaining.
Well, it's already nighttime here. It gets dark at like 4:30.
I'm ready for normal days to start again. What shortest day of the year is the solstice, right? The 21st? Or am I making that up? I think that's right. That sounds right. So I'm ready for longer days because I don't like walking home in the pitch black.
I don't understand. I'm sure there's a real reason, but I'm like, if it's already gonna get darker earlier, why are we pushing the time? What are normal days, Michelle says. Shira, I'm usually drinking soda water with lime. That's very uninteresting. Once in a while there might be alcohol in it, but it's soda water.
Everyone, alrighty. I think we've given our preliminary minutes and we totally can start. So today's class is kind of like a revisit of a past Rachel hit. Because we did the beaded hoops like a couple months ago, and that was one of the more popular classes. And then Rachel and I were talking on the phone. I was like, Rachel, what if you took those and like made them a triangle? She was like, that sounds hard. But she pulled it off, and I love how they came out. And she used two gorgeous stones in the example ones. But you have apatite and Botswana, I think they're right.
Sorry,
do you need a second to find something?
No, I drew out when I originally made them. I drew on a piece of paper a triangle, which is fine. I don't need the piece of paper, but it was a nice visual. It's gone. What happens when you clean? It's gone.
Everything's gone.
But these are Botswana and apatite. Yeah, and for the giveaway today, we're giving away half a strand of these apatite. Let me see if you can kind of see those. They're a little bit brighter than they're appearing right now.
Yeah, so these are the apatite bicones that are still available at the top. And then half strand will go to the giveaway. And basically how the giveaway works for those joining for the first time is all you have to do is leave comments on the live stream throughout. We also just love like hanging out with you, so that also helps. And then if you win, it gets tacked onto your next order, or you can just pay shipping for it if you just want it then. Totally up to you. Terry, I am in Oakland, California. Welcome, Michelle. I'm glad you're here for your first class. I think Lynette, this is your first class too. Welcome everyone. Alrighty, I'll let you take it away, Rachel.
So we're gonna start out with 18 gauge wire, and you'll need a ruler. I'm making mine about one inch. They're kind of big though. I mean, you can see in my hand. So if you want them to be smaller, I would use a smaller measurement. So I've got a piece of 18 gauge wire, and I'm just gonna take these are not the ones I want. These are like flat nose pliers. And I'm gonna give myself a little bit of room. I'm gonna take them and just bend and kind of fold it over to think back to like your trigonometry days. This is an acute triangle angle, acute angle, not acute triangle. Shira should be doing this lesson.
About how long was your wire when you started, Rachel?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just like a long piece. Probably like 10 or 12 inches. I always like to give myself a lot to work with just in case. It's definitely a lot more than you need. 6 inches would probably be perfect to give you enough to work with. So I've got that bend made, and then I'm gonna go about an inch from there. Mark it with my finger. You can mark it with the Sharpie if you want, but then you'll have to get the Sharpie off. And I'm gonna bend this the same way, or yeah, bend it towards the other one. And then I'm gonna take my ruler and just adjust the wires until they're both even. And so you could do an equilateral triangle if you wanted. You could do an isosceles triangle. You could do probably not. I mean, you could do the other triangle. What is it, scalene? It's like I'm speaking another language, Sam.
I want to know how you got the corners to look so nice.
The pliers I'm using. Do you see them?
Oh, okay.
The flat ones. But if your corners aren't looking like that, like you've got them a little bit rounded. So if you don't have these pliers, when you go to bend, you can just bend as much as you can without bending your wire over with, if you're using chain nose pliers. And then after you take them out, you can push down and then pull it back up. And it'll give you a little bit better of an angle, but you're gonna have to straighten that out a little bit. Did that help at all, Sam?
It helped a bit. One of my corners is a bit more rounded, but it'll still work fine, I think.
That's okay. That's why I'm using, I suggest if you've never made a design before, try it in a cheaper metal. Don't go straight to your silver.
Right.
Then you'll be sad. Unless you like melt down your silver into balls, then it'll probably be fine. Okay, so once you've got them about even, you're gonna take it over to your bench blocks. And I just messed it up, so hang on. Yeah. Okay, you're gonna take it over to your bench block. Could you use a mandrel to bend the corners? I wanted my corners to be a little bit more crisp. You could probably use a mandrel, but if you have like a square mandrel,
yeah, there's square mandrels.
Or like a triangle one.
Oh yeah, there are triangle mandrels. I forgot about those.
I forgot there was. I don't know if I would use a circular one though. I feel like that would just make it harder. Okay, so at this point, we're gonna hammer just where the overlap is. And you want it to be pretty flat. You can hammer the other side if they're kind of lifting up. And then I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to hold right below where they crisscross. I'm going to straighten one of the wires so it goes straight up and down. And I'm going to take the other one. Sorry if that was out of frame. And I'm going to wrap it around. If you overhammer this, it may break off on you. So try to get it to where it's hammered well, but not brittle. Okay, and then I just wrapped it around a couple times. And I'm gonna cut off the end of my wire. And push it in. And then we're gonna hammer the rest of the triangle. You could do this without hammering it, but I like to hammer it because it makes the whole design a little bit more sturdy, I think. And I also kind of like having a partially flat surface to wrap on.
Oh, you find it's easier to wrap when it's not, yeah, that makes sense. When it's not
Completely
round.
Then when I wrap tight, it gives it a good thing to grip too. Now, I'm sure you all know this, but when you hammer metal, it expands a little bit. So if you're not 100% sure that you've hammered it evenly all the way around, just go and measure it. And then I'm also going to hammer on the other side because it's a little bit deformed. And now it's beautiful. So, ooh, Monica has like so many mandrels. Do you do metal work, Monica? Shira's bench block is still missing. You know, it never occurred to me that the reason she was looking for her bench block was for this class.
Yep, didn't occur to me either, but this makes sense.
I'm sorry, Shira.
She thinks it fell behind her desk. Do you see that?
That's like a cutting board fell in between the fridge and the counter. And my boyfriend's like, well, move the fridge. And I'm like, there's been tenants here before me. I'm not looking next to that fridge. I don't want to know what's there. I don't want that cutting board back.
Right. Not gonna happen. Did you see the Monica's question? We'll buy a new one.
Huh?
Did you see Monica's question? Is the 18 gauge the same size you use for ear wires?
You can use 18 gauge for ear wires, but I don't know a lot of people like. I mean, like my earring holes, like all my ears are pretty big, I feel like, just from wearing heavier earrings a lot when I was younger. But if it's, I feel like they don't usually pierce ears that wide, at least not when we were all getting them done with a piercing gun. I generally use 20 gauge. Yeah.
20, yeah, okay.
Oh, I thought of a new hack for it today. But
for your ear wire for the ear wire tutorial.
If you don't have hard ear wire or hard wires, you can use a head pin, like a longer head pin, because a lot of the times head pins are really sturdy. Thank you, Monica. She said she really likes my ear wires. We have a tutorial on how to make them that is in the description for this class and on the event page, and possibly Sam can post it in the comments.
Yeah, I mean, if you search Sam's Bead Shop on YouTube,
that's
then the
literally
YouTube
how I
pop
find
up.
links every time.
Yeah,
I don't even know if I'm subscribed. I just search.
Hey, you gotta subscribe. You're most of the videos, Rachel.
Yeah, I know. I don't really use YouTube.
Alrighty. I'm gonna go back to the overhead of your.
Let's do the second one. Okay. So you're gonna take your pliers here. I'll do it with these so that we can see if you don't have the other kind of pliers. Just like kind of a little bit of the way down. Take your pliers, bend it. If you're using pliers like these, just do the 90 degrees, and then you can push it over with your finger after. And then re-straighten it. You might have to go back in and like straighten it a little bit, but use what you got. Okay. I definitely like how it looked with my other pliers better, though, I'm going to be honest.
The 90 degrees really helps the corners already.
Yeah.
It's already
okay.
looking better.
All right. So now we're going to go like an inch. Kathy says she made her ear wires before class. Yeah, the nice thing about this project too is that also like you can always just put the ear wires on later. Sometimes I do that when I run out of ear wires because I make all my own. So sometimes when I run out of the ear wire, I just make all my earrings like loops at the top. I'm like, oh, I'll finish them later.
Right. Like they're mostly done.
Let's see if these are even the same size. Yeah. Cool. So I'm just gonna flatten everything out a little bit. Like how this edge looks. There we go. And we're going for about kind of a little bit over an inch. Oh. Yeah, so you just basically wiggle them back and forth until it's a very exact science. I'm sure there's probably like a more exact way. Yeah, you know what the more exact way is? The diagram I drew on that piece of paper. But I don't generally use diagrams for anything anyway. I just eyeball everything. I drive organized people nuts because I hang all my art on the walls. I just eyeball it. I don't measure anything. I just eyeball it.
I mean, I don't think most people own like a level. Do people own levels? Is that like a thing
It's on your phone.
that actually works? I just assumed that didn't actually work, but that.
Well, it works if you have a new house. If you have an older house, it doesn't work because the foundation will have settled. I hung a TV once using a level, and the whole time I looked at it, I was like, the TV is crooked because the floor is crooked. And this is upsetting. Yeah, so when you're working on the second one, you kind of want to make sure it's as close to the same size as the first one as you can get it. I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, just as long as like they're pretty close. Nobody ever looks at both of your ears at the same time.
That is true.
I'm just hammering that that overlap again. And this time the wires decided to separate a little bit, so I'm going to turn it over and hammer it again a little bit more. All right, and then grabbing my pliers again, you can use whichever. I just find myself reaching for these a lot.
You could also use like a nylon flat nose if you want a few less marks, but we're kind of covering this up with beads. No,
you're going to hammer it again anyway. So I'm straightening one of the wires, and then I like to leave a little bit of a longer wire here just because I also think it's easier to wrap. But a lot of people I know wrap with their pliers, so it does look nicer, I think. But I also just usually use my fingers.
Yeah, I use my fingers too. I feel like I have better control.
With wire that's thick, sometimes it's a little hard to use your fingers. And it doesn't really matter how many wraps you do, you just kind of want to make sure you do about the same as the one that you did on the other one. We'll see when you use
Rachel?
Yes?
One of my triangle sides definitely ended up longer, either because of this last step, and I oh no.
That's okay. So what you can do is then you can save it and make another pair. I know you won't, but
see, I really want to make sure these are done right now.
Just make another one.
Okay, I'm doing another one. Here we go. Oh, this is so frustrating.
This I'm getting a little flat. I think mine did that too, actually, Sam. That's okay. I'm gonna roll with it. I like it. Can't always be perfect. Oh no, that's very off.
Yep,
No,
I can't deal with mine.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna bend this wire a little bit more that way. Okay, now I think maybe it's up top is the reason. You jinxed me. Usually I'm perfect.
This is true.
Let's take the time and make one more. You get to see it 3 times. This is the hardest part. I definitely think the diagram would probably help a little bit. But Angela, you could also use this technique to make like squares or whatever. She said hers did that too. So
Angela says, just keep your head moving when you talk. They'll never know. I love that. Julie, I'm so glad you like your beads.
Yeah. I used to lose a lot of earrings like in middle school. I say in middle school. I would be wearing earrings more often if I didn't work in food service.
You would or wouldn't?
But I would wear them a lot more often if I didn't. I mean, I always have earrings in, but they're usually studs, especially with like the masks. I'm very good at getting things tangled, just in general. Everything gets tangled. Everything gets tangled in my hair. Just like the mask gets tangled in my hair. It gets tangled on my industrial piercing. It gets tangled on my headphones. Like, it's a lot. All right. This one is a good one. It had to be a triangle, Sam.
I know. Why did I ever say triangle?
I did not leave myself very much wire. So yeah, definitely make sure you leave yourself enough wire. But I'm not doing this a 3rd time, or a 4th time. So we're definitely just gonna roll with it.
Michelle said it'd be cool to make a square shape and hang it from one corner. It'd be really cool if like the square hung directly below the triangle. So it was a triangle on top of a square, but like they were all wrapped.
That would take forever.
Labor of love, Rachel.
I don't know. It would be cool. If you make it, definitely show me. I probably won't. All right. Please adjust yourself accordingly. My wires don't want to stay together this time. They're like, you should have stuck with the weird triangle.
Yeah, the first one was so much easier than replicating it. This is proving to be much harder.
How far are you gonna make like 10 of these at the same time? Okay. Oh. You know, I didn't have any problems when I made this and nobody was watching me. None. I just whipped them right out. Okay. Wrapping my wire around. I think I'm gonna end up with two weird ones. And that's just gonna be the pairs, the weird ones.
We'll go with it.
Boy. Well, I lost the 3rd one. There it is.
So who's beating along today? It seems like we have quite a few people trying to make triangles along with us.
Yes.
Trying being the operative
I
word.
promise I know what I'm doing, just not today. Apparently. I wanted to take a nap before class, but because I think that usually helps me a little bit. but my neighbors have been blasting music all day.
They have a habit of that.
And I wanted to go buzz their door and tell them to turn it down, but my boyfriend said this is not the neighborhood you do that in. So I just have to deal with it. All right. Okay, and then if you notice like your bottom or whatever is a little wobbly, you can fix it with your pliers by just going. Okay. Amy says time to move. I definitely feel the same. We're looking at apartments, but he's in the like process of getting certified to be an EMT. So we have to wait until he has a new job and has like a couple months of paychecks before we move anywhere else. So
okay, I
I
think I
just
have
look
two
at apartments and
triangles.
cry a little bit.
Oh. Do you also just look at Street Easy and just look at all the beautiful apartments?
Yeah, well, I only look at ones in my price range, otherwise I get mad. So
Yep.
I'm like, what do you mean I can't have a doorman? What do you mean I have to walk up the stairs? How dare you? My first triangle is so perfect.
All right, I'm gonna pull up my camera. Hopefully, my phone's being weird. Each time I touch it, it freezes. There we go.
What's funny is like my two messed up ones kind of are like the same.
I know. I've started to like my two last ones. Here, I'll show you. Oh, there we go.
I will look up in a second.
This one was my first.
They
then,
look like little coat hangers. Let's just.
They're very cute. This was my
didn't
second.
really
You can see the lopsided side of it. And then
If you
I
have
think
children,
like,
you can also make doll hangers this way. So they're little clothes.
for the little
I like
clothes.
them.
Yep.
Those Sam are cute. Okay, let's move on. Otherwise, I'm gonna obsess about these for an eternity. So there's two ways you can do this. You can leave your wire like this, and wrap with it like this, or you can put your bead on and just close off this wire and then wrap everything. So it's kind of up to you. But I'm gonna wrap it the way that I originally wrapped it, which is without my bead on there. I think it gives me a little bit more to hold on to, but if you're worried about like stabbing yourself at the end of the wire, I totally get it. And you can do whichever way works best for you. So for these ones, I'm gonna use these peach moonstones and the quartz beads I love.
Rachel's favorite bead ever.
I'm obsessed with these. I have so many of them, and I don't think I realized how many I had of them until I was looking for different beads to use on this. Now, if you did your triangles like an inch like I did, you're going to use a lot of beads. These beads are, do you remember off the top of your head what the millimeters are on these? Are they 3?
Yeah, they're 3 millimeter.
3 millimeter, okay. And the bicones were around 4 millimeters. But that's from the top to the bottom. I don't know what they are side to side. So you're going to want to get a pretty long piece of 26 gauge wire. It kind of is going to depend on how many beads you have that you're going to be wrapping around. I'm having trouble with words. The amount of times you're going to be wrapping around kind of decides how long your wire needs to be. I usually cut, let me see, this is probably about, and I always cut overkill, but I would much rather just like struggle with the wire than, this is probably like 30 inches, honestly. and it's definitely going to be too much, but like I said, I'd rather struggle with the wire than run out midway and have to wrap on.
Yep.
So to start, number one, you want to move your beads a little bit away from you if you're working with this long of a wire, because your wire will go in them and flip them everywhere. So you're going to take the small end of your wire. I'm going to see if I can, it'll be difficult. The small end of your wire and poke it through your triangle. And then you're going to wrap around like 2 times or 3. That's kind of up to you. You can do 3. And you're going to push it together and push it up towards the top of your triangle. So it should be like up here. Can you see that? There we go.
Yeah.
And then I like to anchor it when I'm doing it. This way it won't move around a lot. So I'm going to wrap it back around, and I'm just going to sloppily wrap it on the other side. And this will just keep it from moving around while you're trying to get the first side wrapped. And now we're ready to wrap. You're just going to thread your beads on one at a time and wrap around. A little hack for wrapping through the middle when there's a lot of wire is, instead of taking the end and pushing it through, I push the part that's near my bead through. You see I bend it kind of like into a little U.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just pull it through. And then I'll tighten it and adjust it. So tighten it right up against the bead, and then I do a wrap all on its own right next to the bead. It's a very long process. So we're just going to be sitting here wrapping for a minute. Is there any part of that you need me to review? And again, I don't know if I said this, but it's 26 gauge wire.
If anyone has any questions, definitely let us know now.
So it's just through the bead, wrap once around, and then do a wrap completely separate of the bead before you add the next one. And I will do it again as soon as I can get a bead on this wire. I got it on and then I dropped it. Struggle with people who drink too much coffee.
Is what?
Shaky hands. I would do that and then try to solder, and I'd just have to give up. So I've threaded it on, I've got it there, and I like to hold them when I do this because otherwise it might travel with the wire. So I just like bent my wire a little bit to pull it through. And then I'm gonna tighten that and come back around and just wrap it once without the bead. Monica, I think I do love tedious work. I don't think I ever realized I do. And if I was reading like instructions and it was like, it's gonna take you like a zillion years to wrap this, I'd be like, oh, I'm never gonna make that project. But here I am. It definitely wouldn't take as long if you made a smaller triangle. Okay, so I've got my bead on.
Yeah, my triangle's pretty small, and I'm using 4mm beads, little check beads. So, like, I can already tell I'm not gonna have to wrap too many.
These, I actually think are a little bit wider than the Appetite bicones. So I think it's actually going to be less beads for me on these ones. Okay. I'm gonna break my own rule and push these onto my bead now, otherwise I'm never gonna finish. I would also be careful if you're not used to working with this much wire, just be careful not to poke yourself in the eye. And yeah, when I'm wrapping it, hold it here, hold your bead in place, then just push your wire through. This will also help you keep you from getting kinks in the wire. I don't think I had this hack.
Oh, right. That was something I'd asked about last time we did this project was.
And I think I came up with this after.
Yeah, it's already helping.
It doesn't work hard in, yeah, it doesn't work hard in the wire too much because you're going to be using that little bit of wire pretty soon after. And then if you're not wrapping tightly next to each other, every couple of beads, just push them together just to make sure. But you want to try and get this as tight as you can because you don't want them to move. And that's another reason why I'm not just going bead to bead. I'm wrapping in between each bead. Kathy says she preloads the beads onto her wire and use a pen as a shuttle to wrap them around the form. Interesting. I feel like
I'm trying to imagine that process.
I know, I'm trying to visualize it too. I don't know. I don't necessarily mind doing it this way. I feel like it takes me just as long to thread the beads this way. Maybe not. Maybe it would save me a second. Who knows? But I would love to see what that looks like, that process. So we got my beads. Are you doing the little bending thing I said, Sam?
Oh yeah.
And it's helping?
I'm at my first corner actually, and I think
you're ahead of me. I think your
navigating.
triangle is a little smaller than mine now.
I think yeah, it was about an inch, but I'm using 4mm beads, so it was literally 4 beads along the side here.
I'm at 6, I think.
Last time I did this,
Yeah.
you were using 3mm, and I was using 2mm itty bitties, and it took forever to finish.
I'm not gonna lie,
earring.
I almost picked the tiny. Oh my gosh, my beads are everywhere. That's why I said keep them away from your wire. They're all over the place. I almost used the teeny tiny turquoise ones, and then I was like, I'm not doing that. So like, number one, they're all gonna be gone, and I'm gonna be upset because there aren't any more.
It's true.
Number two, it's gonna take forever. Okay.
So is everyone like done with their gifting by now? Like, is everyone sent out their gifts? Kind of curious, like, what the schedule is this year. I'm planning to send my gifts after Christmas because then I know they'll arrive and they'll probably still get there at the same time as everyone else.
I ordered my boyfriend something in November and it's still not here.
Well, that's just disgraceful.
It was like mid-November too. It wasn't even like Black Friday. Yeah, I'm like thinking about emailing them, but I figured I'd wait like a month. I've ordered from this company before, so I'm like not super worried about it. It was like an extra present, so. And then I can't wait, so I just gave him all his stuff and told him it was for Hanukkah. Literally, if he would go get the packages, and I'd be like, open it.
Happy Hanukkah.
But there's a lot of things
Hanukkah's
I've mailed that
over.
are taking so long to get there. So long. I've been obsessively tracking them. It's just making me angry. God. It's not actually helping.
I've never seen a holiday season. Like usually holidays are already bad, but this is crazy.
Awful. Did you see the pictures of like inside the post office? That's insane. And
no.
I totally have sympathy for them. But literally, Sam, imagine a box store. Okay, it's just a store full of boxes that are already built. And then imagine they're all on. Oh, I have a great analogy. Okay, you know, like in a movie where the bad guy is chasing them in the library and all the bookshelves fall and all the books are everywhere. Yeah. And there's just a mountain of books. That's what the post office looks like in these pictures.
Oh, that's scary.
Like,
yeah.
No rhyme or reason.
It basically seems just like they're piling up and everything is just getting pushed backward.
I mean, like, it's overwhelming. I know, like, they're underfunded and their staff is probably not all healthy. So, probably understaffed and underfunded. When you get to
they hire a massive holiday workforce each year. I'm wondering if they were able to hire a full force.
Mm-hmm. When you get to the corner, I know you already did your corner, but when you get to the corner, it's a little bit trickier. If it ends up going on the other side, you can always just push it. a little bit trickier to hold it into place, but I like the look of it wrapped around the corners. I don't like to see it missing a spot. So you can just push it up against the other beads. And when you put the next bead on, also you can always push it tighter. But the key is just making sure your wire is tight too. You don't want like excess wire showing. Okay. So there's one corner. Sorry, I'm just catching up on comments. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see here.
Let's see. Lori said she has to mail on Monday. Yeah, the itty bitties are so pretty, but it would take so long. Each side on mine is 1 inch. They're fairly large though, so if you want smaller earrings, definitely make it smaller. But this is a 1 inch one. Let's see. Julie convinced everyone that we don't need to buy gifts.
Julie, I did not think you'd be able to convince Rachel. Julie, you would not be able to convince Rachel not to send gifts because
no,
she's been sending the most lovely gifts out.
I love shopping for presents. I love also like I realized that me and my siblings all spend like the same amount on each other. But the thing is, like I put things on my list that I wouldn't buy for myself because I would feel guilty about spending the money. So when somebody else spends the money, like I hate getting money for my birthday because then I feel guilty if I don't spend it on rent. Let's see. Lori said no gifts this year. Michelle said her whole family had COVID. Oh, I'm sorry. And she did.
You have all recovered well, Michelle.
Yeah, I hope so. Oh, haven't decorated or wrapped anything. Well, might I suggest wrapping with newspaper and duct tape? It drives people crazy. Lori says she has a new granddaughter that she can't see. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, hopefully soon. Julie said volume is up 80% at the post office, so that's insane.
Wow.
And Leonore, I'm using these are, what do you call these again? Mixed quartz rounds.
Yeah. I think there's still a couple more strands in the shop that you haven't purchased.
Yeah, I know. I bought like 4 strands of them. Not all at once. It's like I kept going back and buying them. So Leanne said she's been paying her daughters for my daughter's family. Has been paying their utilities bills. That's so sweet. It's definitely been hard, especially if you're out of a job or anything. Jana, I am wrapping, so I'm putting my bead on and then going through and wrapping around, and then I'm wrapping around once more without a bead, so that there's a little wrap in between each one. Why is it not focusing? Come on. You know you want them to see it.
Yeah, we can see that.
Yeah, so there's the initial wrap.
That is so pretty, Rachel.
Thank you. I'm trying not to do a pattern because I think it would drive me crazy. Maybe if I was
that random.
Not talking at the same time. I'm just picking up whatever.
The random look will be nice.
On the original circular pair I did a little bit of a pattern, but all right. Michelle said, thankfully the cases were not serious and most of them are recovered. So that is amazing. That is awesome.
Good.
I know it's definitely scary to be in the hospital right now. I don't know. But let's see. Cassie says she's done. She made most of her gifts, but she's waiting on 2 more. I'm waiting on a bunch. I've just given up. Monica said she ordered her gifts early. I like to order everything early too. I had my friend's birthday present. His birthday was in October. I had it in like April. I was like, I have your birthday present, except for I just sent it to him last week. So I forgot to bring it down when I went to see him.
You know, I'm ready to start my holiday baking because I'm having a little time off after this week's sale, and I am ready to do my. And I think my number one is I haven't made any ginger cookies this whole season. I usually make it for Thanksgiving. Soft
Gingerbread
chewy
cookies
ginger
for
cookies.
Thanksgiving?
What do you say?
I said gingerbread cookies for Thanksgiving.
Usually I make ginger cookies for like Thanksgiving dessert as part of the spread. Just because my family likes ginger cookies. My aunt is addicted to them. I do not like a crunchy like ginger snap. I think those are I will not comment. I like chewy ginger cookies.
I think I always want to like ginger cookies and then I don't. But I'm also like I don't like most desserts. I like chocolate. And my sister makes creme brulees, which I like. I like apple crisp and I like pumpkin pie, but I guess I do. I mean, like, I don't.
What's your go-to?
I mostly
cookie?
just don't like cake, is what it is.
What about cookies?
I actually like all desserts except cake and most candy. I don't like. I like chocolate. What's my go-to dessert?
Yeah.
I like ice cream. Or like a little piece of chocolate. On Thanksgiving I always make the apple crisp, and I used to make an apple pie, but I always wanted to do a really fancy crust, and I found that like the best consistency pie crust that I was able to find were made with shortening, and I think shortening is gross. So I decided that I'm boycotting pie crust and I'm making apple crust.
I think I've made pie
And
crust with
it's
butter.
a lot easier. I made them with butter before, but like you have to keep refixing it, and then it like crumbles a lot easier. I don't know.
Or it's really.
I'm sure
flaky.
there's a great recipe.
I haven't made a pie crust
I'm not
in
really
years.
like a super baker. I'm much better at cooking. It's probably because I'm not really that good of an exact measurer. I'm more of one of those people that are like, just throw it in there. I mean, I do measure it, but I don't really level anything off. I'm sure that people who bake seriously are probably like crying a little bit right now at me.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I'm
very
making
sorry.
everything. Every measurement's gonna be perfect.
I just don't do it. I don't have time for that. Do you like chocolate, Sam?
Of course. Also, like a dark chocolate peppermint bark or just anything peppermint, delicious.
Was that shade at my peppermint bark, Sam?
No, it was not. Rachel sent me white chocolate peppermint bark with dark chocolate and drizzle, so it is very good. But it's because white chocolate is so sweet, I could only eat small amounts at a time.
Yeah, see, the thing is, I don't like peppermint bark, so I didn't know that it could also be made with dark chocolate. Literally, I've been making it like this for years because like all my exes always like, I don't know, men love peppermint bark. I don't know what it is. And nobody ever said anything about it also coming in dark chocolate.
Often it's like a layer of white chocolate and a layer of dark chocolate.
That's a lot of work. I'm not going to do that. Sorry. That's too much work. But my baking sheet is not that thick. Also, I do it a little bit differently. I know some people use like peppermint extract, and I don't. I pulverize the peppermint, the candy cane.
Yeah. People put extract like into the chocolate itself.
Then I would have to like weigh it, and Like,
Okay, I'm undoing my anchor. Hopefully I didn't just cut. Yeah, I cut the right wire. Okay, good.
damn, you're ahead of me for once.
Yeah, but it's like you'll see that like where it kind of got off because one of the sides has more beads, or like one of the sides has fewer beads because I'm at the start I wasn't doing it as tightly. But it's fine. This is my first one.
You know, I seem to remember last time you didn't do it as tightly either.
No, that was shade.
I'm a shady person, and I feel like you should have known this by now.
Like I was doing the wire tight, but I wasn't like pushing the beads up as much as I could have, I guess. Here, I'll show you.
I like to push them because I also think it gives them less space to go anywhere. I will say that the round beads, move a little bit more than like the bicones. Like these bicones are not going anywhere because they're angled. The round beads are a little bit more challenging. Yes, let me see. Were you showing me something?
I was trying, but my webcam's terrible. So here we go. My phone like it's just turning off. Hold on.
Catching up on. Oh, there's so many comments. Okay. Kathy said that she keeps a roll of gingerbread cookie dough in the freezer and she just cuts and bakes it. So maybe you should do that. And
wait. Say it again. Say it again. What did just cookie dough or what? Here, I missed the comment.
Yeah, she like puts the dough in the freezer and then just like cuts up and bakes it.
Lynette said ginger or gingerbread. Ginger cookies, I think. The recipe I have is just ginger cookies, but it has ginger powder, crystallized ginger, and I think it doesn't have fresh ginger, but it just has a lot of ginger. And then I triple the amount of ginger it calls for, and it's perfect.
Leanne said that her granddaughter got a bedroom suite and told her other granddaughter that it took 100 elves to set it up. That's so cute. Oh my gosh. If you haven't seen Klaus on Netflix, it's really cute. It's like it's another one of those like how Santa Claus got started, but it's so sweet. Definitely I don't think it would like probably hold the attention of like real young kids, but like maybe like 7, 8 up and up. It's very cute.
I started Queen's Gambit after like everyone was talking about it yesterday, and I watched 4 episodes while I was prepping the release. Here, let me show you where I'm at and why it looks so a little uneven, but at least it's done. Can you see this?
King Arthur flower is the best flower. Maybe that's why, because I didn't used to use it. So it's pretty, but I think you should add one more bead to the other side.
I don't like have quite enough room. It didn't work out quite as I expected, but I had fun.
So you know what you can do if you don't want to make another matching earring is you can just like bend it back and then bend it over to make it like an earring hook and then just hang it on your tree.
Well, right. That was good. I was literally gonna say, Angela commented, Sam, just put it for your tree. And I'm like, yes, this is everything I make right now is for this
just
tree.
Just leave it year round and just put it on the tree. Put everything you make on the tree. Okay. Eventually I'll catch up to Sam. Yeah.
I'm gonna take a break.
It's really cute. It's on Netflix. I'm gonna see if I can like whip out this
Patsy
last side.
said she got. Oh, you got the Mexican Laguna lace. Yeah, aren't those amazing? I love those.
Oh, I ordered those, but I didn't get them yet.
Monica says, "What feeds am I using? What feeds? What beads? Good question. I'm using. I don't have an easy way to show you. I'm using the 4mm fire polish that's going up in tomorrow's. I got like 10 different colors of 4mm and other sizes of check beads going up in tomorrow's sale. And then I was gonna I haven't been able to pick my top pairing because I was gonna do some like flower as some flowers as my toppy, but the holes are too small for the 18 gauge. So I will reevaluate that once I can dig through my stash
you know what
again.
you can do also? I mean, you don't have to do it on the same strand. You could just make a loop and then just wrap your flowers with a different wire and just kind of hook them on.
That is true.
It'll be a little bit more wiry, but it will have more movement.
I like that. I'm going for it.
Sorry, I'm so slow today. I thought about making one of the earrings ahead of time. I was like, there's no way you're going to make two on this live. You rap so slow. I think it's that I talk so much, but yeah. Okay, and once you start coming up to the area that you anchored on, you can go ahead and just cut that off. It was really just to help you with the first side to keep it from sliding around, drive you crazy.
My wire snapped.
Oh, how did you manage that?
I think it was from earlier when I was hammering. I hammered too much and it got brittle, and now it's just a triangle and it's going on my tree.
Put it on the
Ta-da!
Or you could put it on the tree like that.
Bye, Julie. Thanks for joining us, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate.
Thanks, Julie. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is on the tree. I don't know if you saw it. I just put it on the tree very quick. It's on there now.
I heard you. Well, I heard you verbally put it on the tree. So.
All right, I'm gonna put you back. Oh, what am I doing?
It's cool. I think I'm gonna
There we go.
I don't know if anybody wants to just like sit here and watch me wrap the last side of this, but it's gonna go the exact same as it's been going. And then you're just gonna wrap it however many times you did on the other side and cut it off and tuck it. So I'm gonna we're gonna pretend like my side is done.
Yeah,
so
you
that
can always
I can
come back to that.
Show you the last step. I feel like you could probably already know what it's gonna be, but so the last step is that you put, well, it's not the last step, but this is like the last part. You put your top bead on. And then if you have ear wires like mine, the well, actually in general, ear wires usually are made so that the loopy part is not sideways, it's in line with the rest of the ear wire. So you're gonna make your loop at the top, you're gonna make it going so that it's the same way. I don't even know how to describe this right now. So your loop is on the same plane as the flat part of your triangle, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bend it
to
either the left or the right, not forward or back, to the left or the right. And then I'm gonna cut it off. Because this is a larger gauge wire, you're gonna have to give it a little bit more space to wrap. So I think this is probably like through half an inch, maybe. Oh, I lost the ruler. No, there it is. It's a little less than half an inch. So you're just gonna take your pliers. Do you hear that?
Only slightly.
Welcome to Brooklyn. And then you're just gonna wrap it over. Complete your loop.
Lori says your wrapping takes forever because you're very precise. See that? She is correct.
Maybe that is what it is. I'm a little bit, yeah.
Because that looks perfect to me.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, and then once you've got it here, you can put your ear wire on. I actually don't know what I did with the ear wires either. I'm just gonna steal this one and the ear wire on. Ta-da. So if you want to know how to make these ear wires, you can go to the Sam's Bead Shop YouTube channel. And also you could do, if you wanted to wrap like some of your beads on the ear wire. I showed how to do that in that video, didn't I? Wrap a couple beads on
To
the
wrap
ear
a bead
wire.
onto it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to do that, I like to do that on some of my earrings. I think it makes it look fancy. Let me see if I can find one. Of course, I don't have any earrings. Everything's a mess, Sam. Everything's a mess.
It is the end of the year. It is time for a reset.
I cleaned up everything. It's still a mess. I even have.
My desk is a mess.
Well, I'm supposed to be getting a new desk, which is why I cleaned and organized. I'm trying to find an example of the wrapping on the ear wire, and I have so many of them too. Oh, also, if you make the ear wires like this, you can make you can like dangle another bead from them, like these.
Oh, that's so pretty. Yeah.
I dangle from the top part. I wanted to find an example of the other one because I think it's so fun to embellish ear wires. If you're using ear wires you got from that are pre-made, no shame, totally cool to use pre-made ear wires. You can take the little ball off that they come with. You can just pull it off, and you might have to straighten out the ear wire a little bit, but you can slide a bead onto there and then just kind of put it back, and then it looks like you completely made them. Monica, the length of the wire I use to make my ear wires is 2 1/4. Yeah. That's just the length I came up with. I don't even remember when or how, but it works great for me. You can make a couple different shapes with that length too. Recently I've made some of them kind of a little bit more round with that length. So I made ones like this. They're a little bit more rounded. But I really want to find an example of one of those ear wires, and now I'm mad because I happen to pick the like one box I don't have an example of that in, apparently.
Well, if they want to see it, they could, and they need to learn how to make it. Just go to the Sam Bead Shop YouTube channel, and you can learn how to make that embellished ear wire there. That was, of course, before we learned to make the overhead camera full screen, like we are right in this moment, because that whole video is 3 boxes.
Oy.
So
maybe we'll re-record that one day. I think that, I haven't gotten any complaints about it. Everyone seems to be able to make them pretty well, at least from what I've seen. Anybody that showed them to me, they look great. So I'm gonna lose my mind in a minute.
That's all good. Alrighty, I think we're gonna wrap up anyway. And
Rachel's losing it.
I will. Anyway, it's been, we are at our hour.
Yes.
I can't believe this is our last class of the year. It's been so fun to do these with you, Rachel. I feel like I've learned a tremendous amount from you. You've got me to start creating again amid all the busyness of running the shop. So I send a huge thank you to you.
A pleasure. I don't really leave my apartment just since like the pandemic, so it's been nice having friends. Because I moved here maybe 6 months before the pandemic, so I have a couple friends, but I didn't have that many. So it's that live here at least. I mean, so it's been nice. Having a weekly hangout.
Oh, I love it. And we can tell people right now.
Oh yeah.
So guys, don't sign off yet. Stay on if you're still here.
Stay.
So it's been in planning, and we literally just announced it before this live. We're doing our first beading summit in the Gem Chat group, which I'll put a link to right now. Basically, what it is it's like an open beading Zoom session that Rachel, me, Lynn Belmont, and Shira are hosting. We're each gonna host a section of it because it's a 6-hour Zoom session. And you can come and go. You can stay for the whole thing, whatever you want. super casual. Just we wanted to meet each other like in a more like this. So we're gonna try it out, and so I hope you'll come. Do you have want to add anything?
It's not going to be like a class format. It's just going to be like a chill hangout. So you can bead, you can chat, you can eat, whatever you want to do. So the more information for it is in the gem chat, which Sam just posted in the comments. And also, if you make this design or any designs from any of the classes or anything you're particularly proud of or have questions for, post in the gem chat. We're always working.
Yeah, so this is December 26th.
I'll like show my boyfriend. I'll be like, look, they made the design. Look at it.
I sent things over to my sister because she's in the group. I'm like, everyone's making the designs. Yes, it's December 26th. It's like 9 to 3 Pacific, noon to 6 Eastern, and you need to register. So before you forget, like if you want to get the Zoom link, you have to register, which is literally name and email.
Yeah.
So
that way we're making sure that it's all legit people.
Yeah, no Zoom bombing, as it's called.
Yeah. No stone sellers from across the way. It's like
yes. So to register, the link is in the post in Gem Chat that I just made with the flyer. Just click that link, register, and that's how you can join us in exactly 1 week. I cannot wait.
I'm so excited.
Shower says, gotta dress up.
Gotta dress up. Yes. I just put a sweater on over my pajamas. So.
Don't be surprised if I just show up in a hoodie, because I will be on vacation mode. Michelle will have to look up that video already. We can end it there.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone.
It's been such a pleasure to hang with you guys today. Everyone's been so lively. It's so much fun to hang when everyone's so active in the comments. But next week, everyone's on the Zoom call. So we'll see you next week on the Zoom call, everyone.
Yes, have a great week. Have a Merry
Rachel.
Christmas if you celebrate. Bye, Sam.
Merry Christmas. I'm totally celebrating Christmas. I celebrate Hanukkah. Now it's time for Christmas. Here we go.
Wonder Woman. So I'm very excited.
Very nice.
Hey, bye.
Alrighty, bye everyone.